Welcome to my channel or Dedong Ampak Vlog Anime Recap.
Today I will talk about the anime farming life in another world. It is a story of Hiraku who dies of a serious illness. God brings him back to life, gives his health and youth back, and sends him to a fantasy world of his choice. Hiraku, as a soul, confronts the deity that watches over the planet. The god notes that he lived for 39 years, but he had a horrible end when he was deceived by others and subsequently became sick with a terminal disease. The deity chooses to give him a second opportunity with a healthy body. The god realizes his error for his terrible life and wants to apologize, as well as ask if he has any wishes that he can offer him. Hiraku decides to attempt farming after some thought. He saw a TV show about it when he was unwell and would want to try it. Furthermore, he is not excellent at getting along with others and wants to go farming someplace where there are few people. The deity says farming isn't his domain, but he makes a call and arranges everything. He obtains permission from the agricultural deity to bestow the power of almighty farming tool on Hiraku. Hiraku awakens in a forest, relieved to be alive and able to move again. He begins digging with the tool that appears magically in his hand, observing that he isn't feeling tired at all. He likes the softness of the soil and notes that he can produce delicious veggies there. Hiraku then understands he must first consider food and drink and begins looking around. He notices a large tree and decides to make it a landmark and a camp. He wanders about seeking for a river but is unable to find any source of water. Hiraku then chooses to dig for water underground. He calls his tool, which transforms into a shovel, and shortly after he begins digging, he discovers water. Hiraku then notices a smaller tree that would soon come in his way and chooses to cut it down immediately. He transforms his tool into an axe and almost gets crushed by the tree as he cuts it with a single stroke. Before he knows it, it's already dark, and he converts his tool into a magnifying glass, but the sun has set. Having no way to start a fire, he carves a hole through the enormous tree and hides inside. Hiraku prepares plates and cups. He discovers the moon provides enough light for him to see, but when he notices there are two moons, he assumes he is on another world. The next morning, Hiraku proceeds to clean the land surrounding the enormous tree and remove several more trees. He senses it is time to eat, and at that moment, a giant monster rabbit confronts him, and Hiraku kills it with a single stroke of his tool. He decides to create a toilet after eating and digs a massive hole with an entrance, a gas release hole, and a tree stump as a seat. As he couldn't relax, he ends up building a little cottage around the toilet seat. Hiraku then continues working the land, imagining what he may grow. As he finishes, he finds he doesn't have any seeds to plant. The next morning, he is shocked to notice that some plants have already begun to sprout and wonders whether this is due to the tool. He plans to construct a wall and a ditch around the fields to keep rabbits and other critters out. It takes him a few days to finish, but he kills another rabbit. The plants are growing quicker, and Hiraku is hopeful that they are edible and not just pretty flowers. Hiraku then constructs a hut, but since he has difficulty carrying the wood, he digs inside of it to give himself extra vertical room. One day, he notices two dogs outdoors. He welcomes them in and offers them some meat from a boar he just slaughtered and pondered what to do with all that meat since they seem rough but not hostile. He observes that one of them is pregnant, and that she began experiencing labor pains after they ate. Hiraku understands she is about to give birth and is at a loss on what to do. He eventually lets them remain in his home while he returns to the tree hole for the night. He checks on the dogs in the morning and discovers that the female has given birth to 4 puppies. To celebrate, he feeds them some more meat. Hiraku expected the dogs to go after that, but they opted to stay. Hiraku decided to construct himself a new home since they enjoyed the hut. Hiraku eventually grows tomatoes and likes them. The dogs do some hunting and protect the premises for Hiraku. He decides to name them Kuro and Yuki. Kuroichi, Kuroni, Kurasan, and Kuroyan are the names he gives to the tiny ones. Hiraku wants to construct a storehouse, grow more veggies, and do a variety of other activities. A girl wants to cross the mountain, but a guy warns her that it is perilous and asks whether she has heard of the Forest of Death. The opposite side of the mountain is named as such because it is teeming with monsters. That's it for now, see you on my next video.